Hello everybody, we are here again for the 613 mitzvah. As I'm learning, I was wrong on my word. Mitzvot is meaning the multitude, and mitzvah is meaning one, or vice versa, something like that. But you get the point, okay? So we are back again on the live on Anchor, and we are back again on the audio for WhatsApp group. We are going now through number 90 on up, okay? So we're going to go through the next batch of things, and we're going to try to understand these as much as possible and understand what they have to say, what they have to do, what they have to mean, and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, okay? And as always, I'm going to try my best to give you as much information as possible. Sometimes I do better than others, but you get the point. Okay, so continuing with the Sabbath stuff, okay, of the mitzvah, number 90, Exodus 16:29. Stay home, or stay near home and within city bounds on the Sabbath. Okay, so this is Exodus 16, verse 29. It says. Okay, so let's dive real quick into that actual verse. I'm not going to give you every single verse. I'm going to let you read some of it. So 16:29 says, "See, for the Lord has given you the Sabbath, therefore he gives you on the sixth day bread for 2 days. Let every man remain in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day." So don't go out of your place on the Sabbath day. You're supposed to stay in your place. So in the context of Jewish culture, what they would do is they would build some sort of wall in an area that's like a social area, and you basically stayed within that area, and that area was within the city limits, and you were basically staying inside of that area during Shabbat, okay, or Shabbat as with a V, as it's somewhat pronounced. I'm still learning the pronunciations and all that stuff. So here comes the next one. So this might not be cool with some people, but I'm going to say this, okay? It needs to be said, okay? The next one is Exodus 20, verse 8, okay? So I have to read it first, and then I have to explain to you 20, verse 8, okay? So remember, so this one says, is number 91, Exodus 20, verse 8, which says, "To remember and sanctify the Sabbath by blessing wine and lighting the conclusionary candle." So you're going to learn all about this during the Shabbat learning, okay? But Exodus 20, verse 8 is actually talking about remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, is all it says. So wine is customary in Jewish culture. They would have wine at things. So that's why I've started picking up buying wine for Shabbat. Okay, I don't currently have any today, kind of tied money-wise, so because I'm doing other things. But in the future for Shabbat, I will have a glass of wine for that day of Shabbat. Okay, so and the one that I'm gonna be getting out of Missouri is St. James Winery. Okay, fruit-based wine. So, but in the Jewish culture, you would sanctify to make it holy the Sabbath day by blessing the wine, not just having wine, but blessing the wine, and lighting the conclusionary candle. Now, for Shabbat, in Shabbat learning, you would have a certain candle that would be lit for ceremonial purposes as well as for lighting of the house, and you would use that candle, have that candle lit all throughout Shabbat. Okay, so that is Exodus 20, verse 8, but 20, verse 8 only says keep the Sabbath day holy. Okay. Number 92, to perform self-denial and to rest from exertion on what is known as Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, or Yom Kippur, as it were. So the question becomes, what is Yom Kippur? So let's look it up. Yom Kippur, okay? And I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. Yom Kippur is the most solemn religious fast of the Jewish year. And it lasts for a total of 10 days of penitence that begin with Rosh Hashanah, okay, which is the Jewish New Year. Okay, so we will be learning all about this Jewish culture, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, Yom Kippur, and penitence. So I had to look up what penitence is specifically, because I don't know. So penitence is the act of feeling or showing sorrow or regret for having done some sort of wrong. So Yom Kippur is a religious fast, the last of the 10 days of penitence, the last of the 10 days of sorrow, shame, feeling bad for your sins. So Yom Kippur is the holiest day in Judaism and Samaritanism. It occurs annually on the 10th day of Tishrei, which I have no clue what that is. The dates are September. Just so you want to know, the dates for this year's Yom Kippur is Sunday, September 24th to Monday, September 25th. Okay, that is Yom Kippur. That is the 10th day. So basically, Monday, September 25th, and 10 days prior to that would be all of Yom Kippur. All of the 10 days. Yom Kippur is only referenced as the last of the 10 days, whereas there's a 10-day of penitence, and what it says is the day's observances consist of full fasting and ascetic behavior, which I don't even know what ascetic means, accompanied by intensive prayer as well as many sin confessions. Okay, so I need to look up what this word asceticism meaning is severe self-discipline. Severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence. All forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. Okay? And this is Yom Kippur, okay, for that word. So, getting back to the thing, to perform self-denial and to rest from exertion, to rest from any kind of work on Yom Kippur. This is Leviticus 23:32 for this. So Leviticus 23, verse 32. Okay? Now, if you're wondering why I'm talking about Jewish culture in a Christian settlement, our Christian beliefs originally came from Judaism. Okay? So I want to know where my faith comes from and what it was based on. So it says 23:32, which reads as such. It's called the Day of Atonement, okay, and it's in Leviticus, okay, and 23:32, which reads as, it shall be to you on the Sabbath of solemn rest, you shall afflict your souls on the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening till evening, which is you shall celebrate your Sabbath, evening till evening. That's where they get Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, which is Shabbat. Okay, evening to evening. This is where they get it from, Leviticus. Okay, so Levit is to perform self-denial and to rest from exertion on Yom Kippur. The next one is not to do any prohibited labor. This is 23:31, which is the right above it, which says, you shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute or rule forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings, in all your homes. Okay? You shall not do any work on Shabbat, period. Okay? Number 94 was Leviticus 16:29, which is you shall afflict yourself. You shall afflict yourself. Okay? Referencing Yom Kippur and all that stuff. You shall afflict yourself. This one is Leviticus 16:29, so a few chapters before, which says, "This shall be a statute," statute is a law or a rule, "forever for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and do no work at all, whether you are a native of your own country or a stranger who dwells in that country." Okay, so it doesn't matter. And 23 and 29, "You shall not eat or drink." You shall not eat or drink. That is number 95 of the mitzvah. Okay, Leviticus 23, 29. You shall not eat or drink. 96. To rest on the first day of the Passover. To rest on the first day. To rest on the first day of the Passover. So the Passover is multiple days. So in America, Passover is Good Friday till Easter Sunday, I believe. Okay, whether it's those actual days or not, I'm going to have to do some studying and figuring out. Okay, but Passover is the day supposedly that Jesus died and went to Calvary. Okay, from what I remember. And you're supposed to rest on the first day of the Passover, I think, and to do no work on the first day of the Passover. Now, the Passover is not referencing the day that Jesus died, just so you know. That would be Good Friday and Easter. But Passover is, because I remember Jesus having the Passover meal, which is like it's kind of like, maybe, think of it like some sort of Christmas meal where you have it once a year and it's an annual thing that you do. Think of it like that. I'm just going to give you that until I discover exactly what all these different terms are, Passover and all these different things. But it does say to do no rest on Passover. That is Leviticus 23:8. Okay. So since I'm in Leviticus, I'm just going to jump to 23:8 real quick and read to you what it says in 23. These are all coming from Leviticus 23:8. Okay. Which says, "But you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord for 7 days. The 7th day shall be the holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it." Okay. You shall do that, which leads into number 97, to do no work on the first day of the Passover. So on the first day of the Passover, as well as on the 7th day of the Passover, you are to rest, and you are to do no working on the 1st and 7th day of the Passover. Okay, so that's leading us to 96, 97, 98, 99, which says to rest on the first day of Passover, to do no work on the first day of Passover, to rest on the 7th day of Passover, and to do no work on the 7th day of Passover. Number 100 is Leviticus 23:21, which says to rest on the first day of Pentecost, okay, and to do no work on the first day of Pentecost. Sorry, my balls are going absolutely bonkers right now. I don't know why. Number 102, to rest on New Year, the first day of the 7th month. So New Year's in America is different. It's not on the 7th month. The 7th month would be July. The first day of July would be the New Year. Okay. I have to come right back.